Former President Goodluck Jonathan replies VP Oshibajo on issues of corruption under his administration and sharing of money. He says it is a lie. And it looks so much that the legal battle over the sequence of election and the Amendment Act has begun in the courtroom. Heavyweights in the legal profession converged on the court premises today. Many thanks for joining in, everyone. This is Politics Today, live on Channels Television. I'm sure Kimbale in Lagos. What an interesting time in our politics. Let's begin with what may be a very big reaction from a former President Goodluck Jonathan. Vice President Professor Oshibajo said that former President Goodluck Jonathan's administration spent only about $153 billion on infrastructure in the 3 years preceding 2014. $150 billion was shared in just 2 weeks before 2015 elections. Those are the claims. Well, listen to the Vice President when he made a statement at the 7th Presidential Quarterly Business Forum for Private Sector Stakeholders at the State House Conference Center in Abuja.
Oil prices got an average of $110 a barrel, and only 99 billion naira was spent on power works and housing. Only 99 billion. And in one day, 100 billion naira was issued. And people essentially shared it. And 99 billion was spent on power works and housing. And when we talk about the economy, we talk about it as if the normal is not like abnormal. I'm not saying that corruption under this administration has been completely dealt with. No, I mean, certainly not. Where corruption has become systematic, such as we have in our country today, you can't deal with it in one fell swoop. It's not possible.
Well, these are weighty allegations, and of course, those being alleged are now fired back. An ex-aide to former President Goodluck Jonathan, Mr. Reno Amakwe, says a statement credited to Vice President Yemi Osinbajo is false. He said that in a strongly worded statement he issued earlier. Reno Amakwe joins us now from the United States to give his own side of the story as he speaks on behalf of the former President Goodluck Jonathan. Many thanks, Mr. Amakwe, for joining us on the program tonight. If you may, where exactly are you speaking from? I understand maybe Florida, isn't it?
No, I'm speaking from my house in California.
Oh, California. Many thanks. So what exactly is your reaction? Are you saying there were no corruption under former President Goodluck Jonathan, as some of these issues have been reviewed over the last few months after he left office?
That's not what I'm saying. Every human institution has corruption. But the Muhammadu Buhari administration has said that they are fighting corruption. If that is true, how come Nigeria made her best improvement in Transparency International's Corruption Perception Index in 2014 under President Goodluck Jonathan, when we moved 8 places forward from 142 to 136? And then how come Nigeria has made her worst ever, now listen to those words, worst ever performance in the Transparency International Corruption Perception Index under President Muhammadu Buhari, when this year we have moved 12 places backwards from 136 to 148. Look, this administration is corrupt through and through. They've not told you who brought back Minor, reinstated him and gave him double promotion in the civil service. They've not told you what happened to the $25 billion that was spent in contract without due process at the NNPC, as revealed in a leaked memo from the Minister of State for Petroleum. This administration has not even told you who owns the $44 million that were found in the Ikoyi apartment flat. There was a sworn evidence given by the Acting Director General of the NIA saying that people in this administration, in the presidency, were putting pressure on him to share those funds. Now, the allegations that the Vice President has made are completely false, saying that $143 billion was spent on capital expenditure in 2 years under Jonathan. That is a big lie.
So what would be the figure if you tell us? What are the figures?
I'm going to give you the figure. I'll give you the figure. In that particular year, in 2014, 1.2 trillion naira was spent on capital expenditure. Don't forget that at that time, naira was 150 naira to $1. As a matter of fact, the most expensive project ever done in Nigeria in the last 20 years is the Abuja-Kaduna Railway, built at the cost of $1.2 billion. That project was built and finished by the Jonathan administration. So if you're saying that the Jonathan administration spent $153 billion on capital expenditure, even that project alone is more than that amount of money.
But that project was not, you're talking about a project that was started and was not concluded. So is that what you're making reference to? Because that project, as I know, did not even start under President Jonathan. It started in the preceding administration before his.
The project did not start under President Jonathan. It was in conception stage in the previous